Welcome to this video where I'm going to take you through a little 10-minute daily foot training routine. So we will start off, and I'm doing this with the Soulmate, but you can remember do this with some rolled towels instead. You don't need to have it in order to do these exercises. So we're going to start off with toe scrunches. So we're going to do just opening and closing the toes. So your legs elevated up on something. Just let your body weight rest back on your hands. I'm going to do opening and closing. So toes lengthen out away from the undersurface of the foot up towards your face, and then scrunching them back down, closing them down. And we'll just alternate this relatively quickly. Back and forth, open and close, open and close. All right, so this is just going to start to bring a bit more movement, increase circulation down into the feet. Open, close, open, close. So we'll keep going with this. We've done about 30 seconds of this. And then we're going to move on to our parrot on a perch. So parrot on a perch goes, open the toes, point the feet away from you, closing the toes, pointing the toes away from you, and then draw the tops of the feet back but keep the toes kind of scrunched. Open, point the balls, scrunch, drawing back. Open, point the balls of your feet away, just gently scrunching up, drawing back, trying to flex your toes as you go. I find my left foot is very different to my right. Open, point, scrunch, drawing back. Open, point, scrunch out, pointing the toes, drawing back. You go. One more of these. Open, point, scrunch, drawing back. Okay. Then we're going to go into a little bit of some ankle circles. So we'll move all the way around to the kind of full range of movement that we have in the ankles. So we can do them both at the same time, going around to the right. So your left foot might point in, your right foot might point out. And then coming all the way up, drawing a circle up overhead, around to the left, and then down. Keep your toes nice and active here. See if you can get them working kind of to be spread as you go around. Drawing this big circle, make it nice and slow. All the way around. So we'll do, let's say, 5 of these in one direction. Noticing if you're juddering anywhere, if anywhere feels particularly stiff. Then we'll turn around and go the other way. Nice big ankle circles all the way around. Letting your legs go with it too. So your knees might kind of roll over to one side, roll over to the other side. Nice big circle. 3, 4. Last one. 5. Okay. Now we're going to start to just move our feet around a little bit. So you can keep one leg long, then bend one knee and bring your other foot towards you. You might want to have it just resting on the Soulmate, or just kind of coming in, bringing your heel towards your bottom. You're going to take your hands, grab around the base of your big toe and the base of your your second toe. And then we're just going to work into drawing them down away from us and then up towards us. So just mobilizing through this first joint, or kind of area, space between the big toe and the second toe. Up and down a few times, then working our way down, second and third toe. Just going to the edge of where it feels comfortable, letting that sensation of stretch in between the toes be kind of felt. Third and fourth toe. And then fourth toe and little toe. And then we'll switch over and do on the other side. So grabbing base of the big toe, base of the second toe, and just pressing away from you one direction and then away from the other direction. So the big toe comes up, second toe comes down. We're just wriggling up and down. And then just lifting my foot so you can see, but you'll probably want to have your foot relaxed on the floor. So 4 or 5 repetitions of second and third toe, and then third and fourth toe up and down. Again, just feeling that kind of sensation of stretch of the skin, maybe unfamiliar feeling of the skin between the toes, and just not anything that's painful, but just allowing your toes to move up and down, just giving them that extra bit of stimulation. Okay, and then we're going to come up into standing. So I'm sorry if my head's a bit cut off here, but you can still keep watching my feet. That's the most important thing. So we're going to get our feet underneath the hips now. We'll start with just lifting and spreading the toes. See if you can get space between all of the toes. Finding, maybe place a little toe down first, and then see if you can place all the toes down so you've got this space between the toes. Okay. And then we're going to try and find our centre of gravity and just let the weight shift forwards and backwards. So your centre of gravity is kind of based in and around deep in the pelvis. We can think of that coming down to the floor, somewhere in between the feet, and we're kind of in between them, and as we lean our weight forwards, the centre of gravity comes forwards, perhaps even past the front of the toes, and maybe the heels lift, and then we can kind of lean our weight backwards, and maybe the front of the feet lift, the toes lift. So you're just exploring what happens as you change where your weight is distributed, letting yourself come back slightly up onto the heels, and then forwards onto the toes. And then we'll come back to find the feet nestled on the floor. We're going to do some lifting of the big toe. So again, lift and spread your toes, and try and get these toes just nice and long along the ground, so they're not crunching up towards us like this. Noticing if that happens, trying to keep pressing down with long toes, and as you do so, lifting the big toe. Lift it and lower, and again lift and lower. Just watch as it's happening. See if you can keep all the other toes long down along the floor. Lift the big toe and lower. We'll keep doing, we're going to do 10 of these. So this is 4, lift and lower. 5, lift the big toe and lower. 6, lifting and lowering. 7, lift and lower. 8, 9, and 10. Noticing how it feels under your foot. Getting all those intrinsic muscles working. Yeah. And then we're going to keep the big toe long along the floor. See if you can keep it placed down straight and not let it start to be kind of drawn in. Keep it long along the floor, and we're going to lift the outer toes. Spread them and lower. Lift, keep them spread and lower. We'll do 10 of these. 3, lift and lower. Lift and lower. This is 5 and lower, and 6 and lower. So as this is happening, 7, we'll be getting lots of nice work with our abductor muscle along the inside of the foot here. Helps to support the arch. 8, lifting and lower. 9 and lower, and last one, 10. So both of those help with toe control, mobility of the toes, but also intrinsic muscle activation, getting the small muscles of the feet working. Okay, maybe just like stepping your feet side to side a second, just to release off any extra kind of aching or any cramping or anything that's going on from getting these muscles working. And then feet side by side again, and we're going to go into allowing the foot to pro and supinate. So remembering that pronation is this movement of the foot, this kind of rolling in, dropping of the arches, internal rotation of the lower leg, and the arch flattens down into the floor. Supination, opposite direction. The arch raises up from the floor, the leg kind of turns outwards. Okay. And we're going to do this one on one side, so pronating one side, supinating on the other side through doing these ankle sways. So a little soften of your knees, and we're going to turn, let the pelvis turn and the head turn around to the right. And as you do so, obviously you're not looking at your foot now because you're turning, but just see if you can get a sensation of the arch of the left side, slightly dropping down to the floor, and then coming back into the middle, and then rotate around to the other side. See if you can notice what happens in the arch. Dropping down to the floor on the right side, the left side raising up from the floor, and then back to the middle. So we're going to do 10 turns like this, just just being really aware of what's happening in the feet. Okay, let the knees bend as much as they need to. 2, 3. Trying to keep the big toe down as much as we can. 4, turning. 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And a little shake to the feet. We're going to do some heel raises where we come up onto the balls of the feet, because these are great exercises for getting your both the extrinsic muscles, the ones down in the calf, and also your intrinsic muscles, the ones that sit within the feet, working, and challenges your balance. So start to bring everything together. We're going to do 10 heel raises, so coming up onto the balls of the feet, raising up, seeing if you can go straight up, not kind of fours, and down. And again, up and down, 3, up and down, 4, down, 5, and down, 6, and down, 7, and down, 8, and down, 9, and down, and 10, and down. And we'll finish off with doing just some mindful walking. You can clear yourself a bit of a space. And we'll be walking, trying to land in the middle of the heel and let the weight roll through the foot along the outer edge of the foot and then all the way to the middle and then off through the big toe. And we're going to do this heel to toe. So we'll start just walking heel, rolling through the foot, rolling through the ball of the foot and then off through the big toe, and then heel, rolling through, off through the big toe. Okay. But trying to walk in this line, imagining you have a line on the floor and you're really just thinking about how you're walking here. So landing in the heel, rolling through the foot, rolling off through the big toe. And then we'll go into walking heel to toe, if your balance will allow. Rolling through the foot, rolling off through the big toe, but landing in the heel, rolling through and then pressing off. You're really feeling the whole surface of the foot as it contacts with the floor. And then we'll come back and finish off with just doing some heel taps. And again, bringing this all together, really giving our heels that last little bit of stimulation. So raising, lowering, lowering, lowering. So you're just letting your heels just tap down on the floor. Have your knees a bit soft so you can absorb some of that shock that you're generating by letting your heels tap into the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give your feet a little shake and go ahead and go about the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.